What's going on? It's your boy Will My Craven. Uh, I would try to get through this joint. Yeah, I went to the dentist, so I was supposed to done this earlier, but it didn't happen. So much was happening. But yeah, they know on the side of my face, the side of my jaw. So looking at this, being able to see it, it's kind of hard. I want to crack a few jokes right now, man. Oh, got that gangster lean Bell palsy face looking boy. Oh, let me quit because I'll be to start roasting my own self. And people like, what's wrong with you? Like, man, looking like Martin Lawrence ago. He got smacked by Tommy Hurt. Oh, look, mouth ain't even moving. you know this is a regular day because I done washed my hands so many times. I ain't even put no lotion on. It's like, get this over with. Go to bed. Oh, oh man. Let me stop before I get myself a horrible headache. Anyway, I, I probably need to turn this off of face so where I can see my own face because this is funny. This is funny. I ain't even trying to do it, and just to see it. Oh, oh man, I don't know if I can get through this joint. And this to show you how much at peace and I don't care because once I put this joint out there, it's free game for y'all to roast to it. And I don't even care because like I said, I would roast my own self. Like man, lip just ain't even moving more. That joint just stationary. Like we stand firm. Look like a blowed out sideways tire. It's bad enough I already had soup coolers. Oh, anyway, I done wasted about 3 minutes just looking. But I got my son over there laughing. Anyway, this whole stuff about this this whole stuff about this whole stuff about Will Smith, man. That bug straight twisted. This look like they doing turntables. Oh, oh man. Anyway, yeah, this whole stuff about Will Smith, man. I can't stop. I gotta start looking at myself. Oh, 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 this should have been done earlier. Anyway, I don't care, man. I don't care. Oh, I got a headache. But anyway, oh, like somebody socked me upside the side of my face in the mouth, and like you just got a busted lip. Looking at the the way that mess overlaps. The way that mess just overlaps. Oh, no, like, which way did he go? He right there, he moved. Oh, 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 man. This is funny. Memorable, too. Straight dude look like I got Bell palsy or something. Whatever. It's me. It's me. I ain't talking about nobody else but me. I can talk about myself. But yeah, stuff I always said with us as men, you gotta be paying attention at all times. You gotta be knowing your surroundings, and you gotta know what you gotta think before events happen. You have to be prepared for it. And honestly, I think that stuff with Will Smith was and Chris Rock was staged, considering the fact that a couple of my buddies we were talking about a few weeks ago how the Oscars were cutting the audio, and the audio gave a little bash like yeah. Yeah. Well, the audio world gave a little backlash. And with the backlash, it was pretty much because they were cutting the audio. So they were gonna cut the audio section of the Oscars, and it was basically like a slap in the face for the audio world. And all of those who are part of the audio and the post production, in regards to movies and films and TV show, film, because Oscars and film. So it was a big stink, and some were talking about boycotting and all of that, and they came out and made a statement about how ratings were down and it being boring and all the stuff like that, and they want to cut the time down on the show because they claim it was affecting ratings. Well, those events happened with Will Smith and Chris Rock, and all of a sudden, Oscars skyrocketed. No one's talked about this. I've never ever in my 40 years seen the Oscars talk this much. Like literally this much. And the fact of the matter is that, okay, we'll say it was staged or it wasn't staged. But like, you gotta also think this band was up for Oscar, so you have to be, you're recognized as amongst your peers as one of the greats. So for them to actually possibly stage that, get the ratings up and all that other stuff could have been worked out in the works. We may never know the real truth, but that's a possibility. But I'll deal with the fact that, let's say it wasn't staged. The fact that, as I say, as a man, you need to be seeing moves ahead well beforehand. Like the events he went to, we all know whoever is hosting that joint tells jokes. People are steady coming out and saying, yeah, Chris Rock has said stuff about Jada in the past before too. So this chef should have already been discussed between Jada and Will, that he could possibly crack a joke on him. More likely a new joke, which the new joke was he cracked a joke on her head, looking like mine. So, he should have already been prepared for that. Personally, my personal opinion, should have been prepared for it. So it's like, all right, this may happen. So how do we want to interact? How do we want to go about if this does happen? And that should have been discussed between him and her, because when you're in the limelight and you put stuff out there like that, as I say in a lot of my videos, you need to be prepared for your own actions, because your actions is going to have a reaction, and then with the reaction, that's then now an action by them that's going to trigger you to react to the actions that acted upon your original actions. So you have to be prepared for your own actions. And this is a prime example of Will not being prepared for his wife's actions. Because anytime you're in a relationship, you also have to be prepared for your wife's actions. Because as a man, it's going to fall on you. This is why it's a prime. Will Smith right now is a prime example of a lot of things currently. He's a prime example. After what transpired, he's a prime example of a lot of things. A lot of women will turn around here and say, not all, but a lot of them will say they ain't trying to head a household, man being head of household. But yet and still, he's now responsible for her actions. And her actions then turns around and now he's reacted because of something she did. And if he doesn't react, he's gonna get called soft because you stand up for your man. And on top of it, a lot of ones who mind brown people gonna say, well, the brown woman is the least protected. Will Smith didn't do nothing for his woman, and he just sat there and let her take all that. That's the possibility of this is why I say you got to be paying attention. You need to be analyzing and evaluating all the time. It has to happen all the time. There's a scripture in the Bible that says men are always watch and pray. You got to be watching. let me not go back to that. Oh, you got to be watching, man. Like I'm watching my face on this screen. But you got to be watching, man. You got to be paying attention. And you need to have a plan in motion in case whatever does happen, which is why I'm glad I'm a Cancer, because we have a tendency of planning. Some people over plan, but I'd rather over plan than not have any plans at all. Knowing, okay, I done saw 10 possible chess moves, or I done looked 50 moves ahead. Like, yeah, I need to look that far ahead because I'm steering the ship. Whatever I do is going to affect not only my wife, it's going to affect my children, and most of all, it's going to affect me. So, and then all of the ones who look up to me as well. Like it was a whole lot riding on last night and how I responded. And like I said, and this is if this was legit, even though I don't feel like it was legit. But if it was legit, man, now you have your wife who now feels uncomfortable, and now he feels the need to respond. And this is why I say there's more pressure on the man to be ready, and I also say you need to have plenty of tools. There is more pressure on the man to be ready and in position to be able to handle everything, and because if he's not in the position and have the tools enough to handle this right, it can go wrong. Like the aspect of people instantly bringing up the whole August thing again. I mean, it's a lose-lose situation. Regardless, it was a lose-lose situation. Because all right, now as people saying, well, he didn't handle the August thing, and then she feels some type of way about what someone said, but the stuff that happened and that get aired out with the whole August thing is like it fall somehow or another. It's still falling on Will. The August falls on Will. These events falls on Will. I mean, look at if you go on social media, you'll see it's all still falling back on Will. Like, because why? As I say, it's on us because we made the choice. We chose that woman. I chose my ex-wife. I accept full 100% responsibility for what transpired in my marriage because I chose that woman. Whether I saw the stuff or not, it don't make a difference. I chose her just as well as Will chose her. And you, whichever dude watching this, you chose the woman that you're with. So you need to be learning every aspect of how she responds, what she does, everything. You have to learn it because you have to have yourself in position to be prepared for whatever it is she does. Because you're technically responsible for it. And especially, like I said, if you're brown and you don't come to your woman's aid, all of the women gonna start questioning you and your masculinity, which is also why I always say another man issue isn't a woman technically per se. It's the actual other dude. So in that situation, she wasn't his problem. The dude who up there, which was Chris Rock, was his problem because he said something that turned around and had to put him in position to make a choice. So even and now, if she would have turned around and said something out loud, then it would have still fell on Will. Because then they were like, hey, man, you can't get control of your woman. That's how dudes would automatically look at it. You going to get control of your woman? Like, come on, man. Not 1st of August. Now she out here embarrassing you, you know what I'm saying? Talking all this talk on your night. It fell back on Will. and a lot of women, I guess they're not fully understanding why there are some men out here who are becoming reluctant to get into a marriage or relationship, because they're starting to see, no matter what I do, it's going to fall on me. It's going to fall on me. I'm going to be responsible for this mess. And you are. You're responsible for it, and you're going to take the L in any possible way you can take an L, especially if you go down to that courthouse and get that marriage license. They're going to nail your tail to the wall. Some form of fashion, unless you're smart enough not to get nailed. Like me. I was smart enough not to get nailed, but I was only smart enough to pay attention not to get nailed, even though I still paid some form of price, but not like most people. But I was smart enough to know. So, Will was in a lose-lose situation, and he was in a lose-lose situation. Basically, once that August stuff come out, that August stuff is going. Once it came out, it's going to automatically be tied to him forever. It depends on who see this video and was laughing at the beginning of it. I may be tied back to this as well too. It depends on how many views this gets and who's it lands in front of. And I'm gonna actually turn on the comments, so if people want to roast, I don't care. I mean, it is what it is. So, man, for every action, there's a reaction. there's a reaction, and things are done on purpose, or they may not be done on purpose. But you gotta know, you gotta be prepared. And this is why I will keep harping on, you need to have tools in your toolbox. And for this situation, Will did not pull out the proper tools. If this was legit, he did not pull out the proper tools in this situation. Now, me, on the other hand, I probably went up there and slapped him. I might have just went up there and started roasting or something. Just start telling all kind of jokes, probably grab him up and make sure, yeah, you're going to stand here and I'm going to just roast you for 5 minutes. You gonna do that? All right, cool. I'm finna roast you for nonstop 5 minutes till they take me off this stage. But yeah, man, you gotta know, man. You gotta know stuff beforehand. You definitely have to know stuff beforehand. And I'm not talking about knowing every detail. You just gotta know. You gotta see the outcomes beforehand. And plan for those possible outcomes. Because if you don't, you may crash and burn. Or you may go down in history as a non-forgettable moment. And in the days we live in, once it's out there, it's out there. and you have to be sure within yourself that you can live with it. Like me, I can live with whatever somebody gonna say, man. If they want to say, hey, I got something with all this brown in it, man, you out here looking like you work for UPS, or what can brown do for you? Yeah, because I got on brown Timberland boots too, yeah. So I do look like, hey, UPS dude. Yeah, you look like you got smacked by Twisted Tea. But anyway, oh man, you gotta be prepared for that, man. You really gotta be prepared for it. You have to have thick skin, and certain aspects in life will make you have thick skin. But if you're not having that communication going on, followed by that comprehension to gain understanding, it's gonna be a problem. And if them two ain't, like Will and Jada, not having that thorough conversation, which I'm sure they probably didn't, because they probably just walked out the house thinking, oh, okay, we finna go have fun, we finna celebrate, if this wasn't staged, and be peachy. But if they didn't have that conversation, then you get the result that you got. It should have already been prepared for that. Like, certain things I go to, I get details because I want to be prepared. Like, all right, I know how to unless how we gonna handle this situation, especially if it's somebody that you know. I may be cool, but you like to crack jokes. Oh, okay. Have something already ready for you. I got you. But anyway, yeah, man, that was a prime lesson to learn from. Be prepared. You need to be prepared. And in situations like that, you need to be, this is why you need to constantly have conversations with your woman. And you two need to be understanding the conversation. Like it's one thing like, oh, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about, and then you move on, and the next thing you know, 20 minutes later, a day later, 2 weeks later, you talk about the same thing, and then y'all back where y'all started before they actually claim that they got understanding. And they get understanding. They just heard you. If they had understanding, the understanding would apply. If they comprehended, it would show in application they use wisdom. But most of the time, that's not happening. So, yeah, man. As a man, you have to really be ready to put in work. Because you embarking on having a family, you're going to put in work. And honestly, that's a whole nother aspect of the first book of Genesis, where the curses of man will have to work without the sweat of his brow. A lot of people think that's in regards to the physical, but it's a lot of mental too, because you're gonna have to put in a lot of mental work to think ahead, to make sure this is this and this and that, and you can apply the proper protection to your family without having to apply fisticuffs, lay hand, or whatnot. Or if you do have to lay hands, what's gonna happen next? So it's a lot of work mentally that you have to do and think, and to be prepared, and because your legacy is on the line, which your family is your legacy, and it's on the line whether you want to believe it or not. It is on the line, and all it takes is a few actions to make it crumble. All it takes is a few actions, well, one action for somebody to want to tear you down. And everything you've worked for your entire life may possibly get taken down by those who really wasn't sure with you to begin with. They were just along for the ride because you saw or you feel a mental or physical or some type of emotional need at the time. So yeah, man, pay attention, man. You gotta pay attention, man. It's paramount that you pay attention and get control over your emotions. I say this for women, but as a man, you have to get control over your emotions too. Because if that was legit, that conversation should have already been had. And then there's so many ways he could have had it. He could have just got up and like, hey man, you know, you always like cracking jokes at, my wife. Should I crack jokes at yours? You know, crack a few jokes. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Oh, you don't want me to crack jokes because you got the floor. Well, how we gonna make this an open forum? Like, crack jokes on me. Don't crack jokes on her. Crack jokes on me. I mean, yeah, but still, like I said, it was a lose-lose situation if he was if this was legit, and this aspect to all those men who are already in a relationship or in a marriage, and this basically is what my channel is for. A lot of these guys, my personal guys, asked me to come on to the YouTube for the manosphere, but like I said in another video, I didn't really want to come on the manosphere for doing the same stuff at RC, all the guys doing, pointing out certain issues. No, guys need to be, and women need teaching on how to handle situations you're in currently. A lot of people are in relationships currently, and they just simply don't know how to handle certain things. They don't have enough tools because no one's talking about certain things. You're not talking to your kids about certain things. And in this instance here, sure that No one was really talking. The talking conversation didn't go on to after the fact by Denzel Washington and Tyler Perry after the events transpired. Should have been a conversation prior to that. But if these guys are colleagues and know each other like that, like, hey man, I'm doing such and such show. Just out of respect, you've been going through a lot in the last during this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about cracking a few jokes. What's off limits? But nobody's thinking of stuff like that. Why? Because we live in a society today where it's selfish. It's about me, 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 and I'm gonna do what I do. And we feel good. And if you don't feel a certain type of way, then it's on you until somebody bring backlash and force me to apologize. That's how it goes. We don't consider others before we actually do and say certain things. And that's part of that. One of my favorite books. He talk about the art of communicating. But anyway, it's your boy. I'm about to lay it down. Get some rest on this good young day. As I always say, fix your face, fix your spirit, because I can't fix mine currently. It's your boy, Will My Craven. Be easy.